Hello there. What is going on, you guys? We've got a Clone Wars preview for you today. It is the Servants of Strife Squadron pack for X-Wing 2nd Edition. This is going to be Wave 3, the Clone Wars wave. So exciting. Or I should say the first Clone Wars wave, because I'm guessing Wave 4 will probably have a little bit more for these new factions that are coming out, but we shall see. But yes, this is super exciting. We're just getting a look at this one pack in this preview, so there's plenty more previews to come. I will be bringing those all to you as they come out. But we get to look at 2 different ships in here, so that's also very cool. I'm just so excited for the Clone Wars for a number of reasons. I'm just happy to have some brand new factions. First, like really, truly new feeling stuff in X-Wing for a long time. Even though 2.0 was like a big injection of newness, a lot of it was just replaying old stuff. So that's one of the things that's so exciting about this Clone Wars stuff, is you're actually getting all new stuff. That much is cool. And it's the Clone Wars, which I wasn't always the biggest fan of, but it's grown on me so much, and especially with the animated series. Like, the prequels were one thing, but then the animated series was great. Then Star Wars Rebels referenced a lot of Clone Wars stuff, and it's just been growing and growing and growing. There's this new Grievous Black Series figure that's coming out in the next wave of Star Wars Black Series. I'm thinking about maybe starting to cover Black Series figures. I used to collect them all, and I just never made any videos on them. So Clone Wars, just like, this is going to be a year of like Clone Wars insanity, and this is definitely going to be a big part of it. If you didn't already know, I am also doing a huge giveaway right now for a Force FX lightsaber. It's going to run through March, up till March 1st. So if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed, leave a comment, then you're automatically entered to win a Force FX lightsaber in the form of an Amazon gift card. I have the details on that over on Crabbok.com if you want to read all the, the specifics of it. But it's basically just like all my other giveaways. So yeah, I'm running this one now, and these new lightsabers, dude, they are awesome. Check out my videos for looking at some of this, like on camera, like they look like a movie effects. Like it looks like I'm been animated by Lucasfilm when you ignite them. It's insane. But enough about that. Let's talk about this expansion. This is gonna be a nice. It's almost like a starter. It's not a starter though, because you still have to have a core set, which some people might not be thrilled with. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if they come up with like an essentials pack someday. But first off, the dial. We'll take a look at the dial, because we've already seen the minis in their original preview. The mini's nice. It's kind of got that hot rod looking. It's that Belbalub. I keep wanting to say Belbalub. But we've got some 1-speed maneuvers, but no 1 straight. So this is reminding me very much of the TIE Advanced in X-Wing 1.0. How it was similar. It's going to be like in that TIE Advanced X-Wing price range and role. For that, like that general all-purpose superiority fighter. Really strong, multi-purpose kind of fighter. Like, this is going to be kind of like your X-Wing, I think. But with the speed, that the more speed than the X-Wings. It's got the 5 straight, that's white. It's got the 3 Talon rolls, so a 3 Signor's loop, so it doesn't have the Talon roll. But it's got some decent 2s. It's got 3 now. Got the 3 straight, that's greens or blue rather. So it doesn't have the best turning capability, but it has has a lot. It can go very, very fast. Ultimately, not the best dial, but it's got a little bit of flexibility in there. A little bit of flexibility. Not a super great dial, but it makes up for it on the stats. So let's look at the actual card itself. We're getting 3 attack, 2 agility. Again, just like the X-Wing in X-Wing 1.0. All right, 3 attack, 2 agility, 3 hull, 2 shields. I feel like I'm looking at the X-Wing, but not the dial. So it's just I feel like it's gonna fill that kind of role. Now, this is a droid pilot, so we're going to have the calculate action, and we've got the target lock. Again, kind of like the same 2 actions the X-Wing had, but we also have a little bit more flexibility to kind of helps make up for that bad dial. We have boost and barrel roll, both, which is really nice because, again, both versions of the X-Wing, had something like that. They have those S-foils, and they can get boost or barrel roll that way, and they can get all those upgrades that came with those S-foil cards, and this one doesn't have that S-foils, right? So it's nice that it just has the boost and barrel roll naturally. I think that's going to be nice. Also, the fact that it only has 2 shields seems like it, and the lower, this might end up being a little bit cheaper than maybe a T65 X-Wing because of the slightly less dial, only 2 shields, maybe no S-foil option up for it, but boost and barrel roll natively is nice, and you can chain those into a red focus. Now you'll want to be careful because you don't have that much in the way of blue maneuvers to clear the stress tokens, so do so at your own risk. But as we look, we have some of the other pilots that we can look at. So we got General Grievous, who is only initiative 4, which I think is fair. He's not an ace pilot. Granted he's a general, so you couldn't have him be like a 1, but 4 is okay. This game has kind of become something where it's like if you're not a 6, might as well just bring 1s. So I feel like that's kind of one of those things. Like General Grievous is a 4, that's great, but he's never going to shoot first. But he has a pretty cool ability here. While you perform a primary attack, if you are not in the defender's firing arc, you may reroll up to 2 attack dice. Now, Grievous is also biological, or at least partially, but enough that he can take the focus. So a focus is going to be a really good action for him, especially because now he can, instead of chaining into a calculate, he can chain a booster barrel roll into a focus, and that's going to work really, really, really well for him because he gets his rerolls automatically, especially if he barrel rolls out of somebody else's arc, and now he's got the focus ready to convert those rerolled eyeballs into hits, and it's just natural synergy. And it doesn't require a whole lot of other upgrades. And that's one thing I think is really important. I think X-Wing 2.0 has become a lot less about upgrades and more about the ships. And here's somebody that may not even need any upgrades at all. It's just everything's built in to this card. So that's cool. I think this might end up being a little more expensive too. Well, because it's General Grievous, of course it's going to be a little more expensive. But looks like a solid ship. Like this is a good, solid overall pilot that works. Like it. We've got Wat Tambour. Now, I thought Wat Tambour was a droid. He's a Techno-Union guy, right? The foreman. But if you Google him, you're going to see like the head, he's still kind of like Grievous. He's still got some organic. He's still like got a dude's head, right? He's just got like a metal body. So it's like Krang from the Ninja Turtles, how they put just the brain in that metal body, except Krang was in the stomach and this dude's in the head. So Wat Tambour has a pretty cool ability. Also, he's initiative 3. He also can focus. So he's not, he's not a droid. He doesn't take calculate, but he works with calculate, right? While you perform a primary attack, you may reroll 1 attack die for each calculating friendly ship at range 1 of the defender. Calculating, if they have a calculate token, then they're considered calculating. So nice. They have target lock. They're probably not going to be using target lock very much. This is a ship that's probably going to be focusing most of the time, and as well as potentially boosting or barrel rolling, but I don't see them target locking that much unless, of course, they need it for some type of missile or torpedo or something like that. Captain Sear, while a friendly ship at range 0 to 3 performs a primary attack, friendly ship, this means that he can also use this because it's a friendly ship, not another friendly ship. Just basic wording that's one of the things you need to do. When they perform a primary attack, if the defender is in the bullseye arc, before the neutralize results step, the friendly ship may spend a calculate token to cancel an evade result. So while this guy can do that, he's probably not getting a calculate token. Theoretically, there's ways that this person could get a calculate token. I would not be surprised if there are cards that come in this pack that allow droids to pass calculate tokens to maybe any other ship that could, in theory, the droid could help his targeting computer, right? Maybe any ship that has a target lock action on their bar can potentially get a calculate token from another droid. Mechanics like that just seem like that would naturally work with the separatists, so I wouldn't be surprised. Watch that they do something like this. But ideally, this Captain Sear here is attempting to help to work with droids, and it's a really good ability too. But again, this isn't somebody you want to run with the other two. You don't want Grievous and this guy, and then those are your points, and then you got nobody left that can calculate. This is meant to be your one organic person with your droid swarm, generally. That's my take. And then we have this cool mod called Impervium Plating. I like this one. Before you would be dealt a face-up ship damage card, you may spend a charge to discard it instead. This kind of reminds me of the old, before you get a pilot, and there was more ships than pilots, so usually you didn't get too many pilot upgrades with the with determination. Yeah, but now this one's for ship. but of course you can only use it twice. But this seems like a really solid mod. And again, it's just stopping the crits, which, I mean, with only 3 hull, you know, it'll be helpful. It'll be helpful. I don't even think you would need... You're not going to need more charges. Well, I mean, maybe you'll need more charges than this. I don't think too many people will ever really get to a point where it's like, oh, if only I had a 3rd charge of Impervium Plating, I would have made it. Like, if you're taking that many crits, you've probably taken other damage also, and I don't know. But cool ability. It'd be cool if you could put, you know, extra upgrades and put like a hull upgrade on there also, but probably not. I expect this one actually probably won't be that expensive, considering a lot of times maybe you'd just rather take shield upgrade. That just seems like that'd be overall better. But we'll see. We'll see. It depends, and also a lot of it depends on how much guaranteed crit stuff there is, how much, you know, other synergies that work with crits, how likely you are to actually take a crit damage. All right, so now we're going to be looking at our Vulture class droid fighters, and yes, it's Precise Hunter. Oh, and you've got the 3 dots on there. It's a limited ship. You can only have 3 of these in a list. Very, very cool ability. And this is something that we hadn't really seen before. I mean, we saw this in the preview already, but it was a little bit blurry, so it's nice to just get confirmation that this is what we were looking at. But yeah, Precise Hunter has the 3 dots. It's limited to only 3 in a list. And this just works with the rules that how they've always been. You've just always only seen 1 dot before a name before, which means you can only have 1 of those in a list. But now you have 3. This isn't the first game to do something like this. We've seen this time and time again. Well, not in that many games, but I think going all the way back to like the old Decipher Star Trek and Star Wars games, they used to do that limited with the number of dots, where you got 2 dots, 3 dots, that's how many you could have. It's a great limiting factor, especially on a faction that's going to want to be very swarmy. I think the Separatists may be more so swarmy than we've ever seen before. And this is a way to kind of make some lists really cool looking. So, first off, let's talk about the stats for this ship. We've got 2 attack, 2 agility, 3 hull. This is going to be a cheap ship. These are going to be very, very cheap ships. And of course, we always expected that you know, Vulture droids would be cheap. It's going to be really interesting to see, you know, when the list builder and the actual points finally come out for these, because this is going to be it's going to be gorgeous. So, networked calculations they all have. While you defend or perform an attack, you may spend a calculate token from a friendly ship at 0 to 1 to change a eyeball to an evade or hit. This means the more you have, the more calculate. They can all, oh, you're only attacking this guy, he'll spend all, you know, he'll spend somebody else's calculate token. They can work together. That's awesome. But you can spend your own calculate token. And yeah, I don't see anything that wouldn't let you spend your own in addition to spending somebody else's. Because in one case, you're spending a calculate token. In another case, you're spending somebody else's calculate token. I don't see anything wrong with that. And especially because it's through an ability. And then the Precise Hunter's actual ability here is, while you perform an attack, if the defender's in your bullseye arc, you may re-roll a blank result. That's awesome, because you don't really need to, especially with networked calculations, you don't need to re-roll eyeball results. Generally, you won't need to do that. You will need to re-roll blanks. So it works well. They have got calculate, target lock, and barrel roll into calculate. So no boost on these guys, but that might be overkill. And it's actually kind of nice that they have barrel roll too, considering how cheap we expect them to be. It's pretty nice. We've got the Horchow Prototype, and this is Initiative 1, so this is your blocker right here. This is a good blocker. You can only have 2 of these. See, again, we got the 2 dots for Horchow Prototype. And they also have networked calculations, and everything else is the same on them. But they have, after an enemy ship in your bullseye at range 0 to 2 declares another friendly ship as the defender, you may perform a calculate or a target lock action. So, really nice. And now, I would imagine most of the time you'll probably already have done a calculate action, but it's good in case you do get bumped and maybe lose your action, or maybe, you know, you land on an asteroid and, you know, weren't able to, you know, perform an action. Or maybe you decided to, you know, do one of the, maybe you decided to target lock and you didn't get to calculate yet, and then you can do that. Seems like it's a nice opportunity. But I think the more likely case here is that you'll have done a calculate. If they shoot somebody, now all your Horchow prototypes target lock, and now they have target lock and calculate. and have a pretty good chance of getting some damage, especially if you can manage to be at range 1. Then you're going to get those, you get that bonus die. You roll 3 dice with a target lock and a calculate. That's not half bad. And then considering you can then spend calculates from nearby. And I just think this is going to be so good for the Swarm, too, because you can have so many really cheap generics that are doing nothing but calculate. Oh, they're at range 3 and they're only 2 attack dice? Or they're just, maybe they're only range 2 and only 2 attack dice? Yeah, but they can support this guy who's at range 1 and has, target lock, and then you've got networked calculations. You can just steal the calculates from all the other guys that don't have as good a shot to make sure. I think it's just really cool. I love the feel, like the way that they seem like they're gonna feel like they're really working together, like they're really just like all working together. Very cool. Granted, the Empire has kind of had that with Howlrunner swarms and stuff to a lesser extent, but this one seems like each one is supporting the next as opposed to one supporting everybody. So like the swarms are really going to have a different feel. I think that's very cool. I love the art on this one. This is DFS 081, and it reminds me of Battlestar Galactica right here. It looks like Scar, if you've seen Battlestar Galactica. It looks like Scar a little bit. While a friendly ship at range 0 to 1 defends, it may spend a calculate token to change all crits to hits. Maybe not the most amazing thing, but considering that these guys have no shields, that could be actually really, really useful. And besides, if maybe they'd had no shot anyway, it's just better to have something that you can do with calculate. It gives you more options for calculate. And it's, it's while defending. It's an ability that doesn't sound that great at first glance to me, but I have a feeling while you're playing, you're going to come across situations where you would wish that you had that. So I think it's a good idea to have it. I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. Does that make sense? That's what I think. I think it's a pretty decent. And he's at initiative 3. Okay, so he's kind of like your Swarm. He's kind of like your Howlrunner in that he's the one that supports everybody else, but they have to be close. And that's not bad. That's not bad. All right, and then now we have the coolest thing. The coolest thing that makes these guys feel so different. And I think this is going to be something that's more along the lines of, that they're maybe if you're not flying them in a swarm. If you're just flying a couple and you want them to bounce off of asteroids. We have the Grappling Struts. So when you set up, you equip them closed. And when you execute a maneuver, if you overlap an asteroid or debris cloud, if there are one or fewer other friendly ships at range 0 of that obstacle, in other words, on that obstacle, you may flip this card. And as soon as you flip it, you ignore obstacles at range 0. So again, you don't have to take the damage. You don't have to, I heard the thing, it hit me. After you reveal your dial, if you reveal a maneuver other than a 2 straight and are at range 0 of an asteroid or debris cloud, skip your execute maneuver step and remove a stress token. If you revealed a right or left maneuver, you can rotate your ship 90 degrees in that direction. After you execute a maneuver, flip this card. So basically you launch off at a 2 straight and you can turn while you're on these obstacles. And the whole time you get to ignore. So that means if you're ignoring obstacles at range 0, it means you can shoot while on an asteroid. So much fun. Nobody's done anything like this before. I think it's brilliant. I think this whole pack is going to be brilliant. I freaking love it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Are you as excited about this as I am? I think it's amazing. All right, guys, I want to thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Check out Crabbok.com for details on that lightsaber giveaway. Make sure you enter that. And that's about all I got. Hop in Discord. Big thanks to my patrons on Patreon. You guys are amazing, so I want to thank you all again so much for watching, and have a great day.